All right, what's up, everybody? As you can see, everybody's flipping the shit out. Everybody's freaking out about Trump's tariffs. And guess what? I'm all about the Trump tariffs, dude. I'm so excited. I'm going to give you guys a list of reasons, which posted on YouTube, by the way, on why it's awesome. Why this is the greatest thing in the world. I have a lot of people freaking out about it. I know one of my buddies is going to be freaking out about it. He's definitely not happy about it. That's for sure. Oh, man. Give me one moment, folks. Gonna get the live chat up here. I want to interact with the audience on this one. Cause I need you and I want you crawling underneath my skin. Oh, all right, here we go. One moment, folks. We're getting it up here. All right, we got super chats. Anybody? Oh my god, I am a beggar and I'm a fucking loser for super chats. Like I cream, I come. Try not to come too much though. When it comes to super chats, I cannot help myself. Michael Donaldson says, "What up, Buttercup?" Michael Donaldson is one of the goats of this channel. He saw me play basketball earlier a little bit. I was getting my exercise on. Needed to. I wasn't wearing a man thong though. Sorry to disappoint anybody. So we're talking about these tariffs. Really, at the end of the day, put a post on YouTube earlier. Just kind of goes over some of the positive notes on Trump's reciprocal tariffs. So, one, it levels the playing field. Trump's reciprocal tariff policy aims to match tariffs imposed by other countries, ensuring American products are not unfairly taxed abroad. This promotes fairer global trade policies. Because we do get tariffed by other countries up the ass, and we're pretty nice to other countries when it comes to tariffs overall. So why should we just take it without getting anything, you know? Because we're constantly, yeah. So overall, and there's another thing: encouraging domestic manufacturing. So, for example, by imposing tariffs on countries that tax American goods heavily, Trump incentivizes companies to produce more in the U.S., right? Supporting local jobs and revitalizing American industry. This is huge. This is fucking huge. We used to be a manufacturing superpower back in the day. Krish with him says hi. Michael Donaldson says that list was crazy. Yeah, we need this list. I think it needs to be in print on why this is a good idea. I love Trump's tariffs. I think they're fantastic. But gold is going up. Of course, gold is going up because the U.S. dollar is degrading every day. We're losing our reserve currency status. We'll eventually lose it. So hold on to stocks. Hold on to gold. It's not financial advice, just financial facts. Talk to a financial advisor. See what's best for you. Donaldson says gold is the same. The dollar sucks more every day. Each day, yeah, that's why I never hold on to the dollar. I do have some dollars in my checking account, obviously, because I never know when I have to pay for anything. But here's the deal. I'm constantly invested in companies. First off, very productive companies, I might add. Real estate investment trusts primarily because I know how great real estate is, especially when the dollar decays every single day. The beauty about real estate is not only is the real estate that is owned by the real estate investment trust, not only does that appreciate over time, so if they have to sell it, it's okay. Not only that, they're leasing out to other companies, to other individuals, blah, blah, blah. The point is, rent always goes up, right? So the fact that I have a very REIT heavy portfolio, it's not like superly weighted by REITs, but I got a lot of REITs in my portfolio, which creates a lot of cash flow. And I get a lot of dividend growth too. So I'm all about dividend growth, man. I'm all about bathmates and dividend growth. But anyway, so like another thing is trade negotiation leverage. Check this out. Reciprocal tariffs give the U.S. stronger leverage in trade negotiations. Countries that rely on access to the U.S. market are more likely to reduce their own tariffs when faced with equal treatment. They're not going to like it. They will back down. And good for us to do that. It's about time we kind of stood up because we get tariffed up the ass anyway by other countries. So what I'm trying to say is, so it's okay for other countries to do it to us, but if we do it to them, ooh, it's suddenly a bad thing? No, I think what Trump is doing is fantastic. And this is exactly why I voted for him, because he said he was going to try to do this tariff shit. And that's why I'm happy about it. VoIP Logistics says, just the mofo I've been looking for. VoIP, you are an AI. You are basically an AI channel. I've seen your channel. It is nothing but AI BS. By the way, guys, just to let you know, VoIP Logistics is an AI channel with nothing to offer. But I do appreciate the trash talk that VoIP does when this man gets on my channel. So, voice over IP, love you, buddy. I love the haters. I am pretty gay for my haters, I ain't gonna lie. I'm eating gumbo. I added some chicken, extra chicken to the gumbo. And it's very chicken heavy, but very good. Love my gumbo. Just like Captain Cisco. Okay. VoIP offers SMS messaging. Okay. So if I wanted to advertise my YouTube channel through SMS, how would you help me market? Would you help me market my channel through SMS, or would you just give me the option to have a dedicated phone number that I could use to message a ton of people about my channel? Because I've been looking for other avenues to advertise this channel. I don't know if text messages would be the best idea. I'd probably get the number would probably get reported for spam, but that'd be fun though. One moment. Been uploading to the Spotify podcast as much as I can. Oh, by the way, oh, the piece of dirt finally fell out. Nice. There was like a little piece of dirt that was lodged. I got kind of lodged in the phone earlier, but it looks like it kind of went off. Hey, I love it. The whole Liberation Day. This is fantastic. And also the stock market crashed, which is even better, by the way. So the stock market crashing for me, it gets me sexually stimulated. So whenever the markets crash, I just buy as many different ETFs as I can. I ended up just buying an S&P 500 one, and I also started betting against Bitcoin because Bitcoin went up, believe it or not, for a short bit of time. So I was like, So I bought a bunch of SBIT to allow me to bet against Bitcoin. And then when Bitcoin came crashing back down, I was like, boom, instant profit. I do love playing the rapid volatility of Bitcoin. I love betting against it because I know that betting against it is safer than holding Bitcoin for the long term, because you hold Bitcoin for the long, it's a Ponzi scheme. I don't know when it will go up or down. It does eventually somewhere. SMS is for mobile marketing. All right. I work with small businesses. We don't do any AI anything. Why is your channel filled with AI short videos and AI bullshit? VoIP Logistics says Tesla didn't crash today. No, okay. Probably did it go up? a bunch of Tesla fanboys invested into it, but I like Tesla. I think it's a good company. I think it's a little overvalued, but you know, if it crashes anymore, though, I'll probably buy into it. My son, my biological stepson, who is a total degenerate, by the way, and steals all my baby oil, says, "Dad, your AI channel boyfriend is here." And to that I say, VoIP Logistics has become my AI boyfriend. And that's sad. That's what my channel has become. I have nothing. I'm assuming that everybody on the chat is just an AI boyfriend. You're all my AI boyfriends. That is, you know, I called you guys my brony brothers, but now I think I'm just going to call you guys my AI boyfriends. That's what you guys are. You're all my AI boyfriends, whether you like it or not. Random guy on YouTube says a laughing emoji. That's my. You're not my AI boyfriend. You're my AI. You're my AI stepson. AI biological stepson. All right. And VoIP Logistics says, "Do what? VoIP, you're my AI boyfriend now. Accept it and feel it. All right. Just fucking don't ask questions. All right. Don't ask questions." I just realized that I am not using my microphone. Son of a fucking bitch. I realized I'm using the Logitech Brio microphone, and that's actually pissing off my mussy. Hold on. I'm a little bit pissed. I realized this whole time I had been using the wrong damn microphone. I was using the webcam microphone, which is not what my mussy wanted. All right. Not stoked, dude. I rarely make that mistake. But I made it. Is it finally going back to the Yeti? God damn it. All right. Testing again. Testing it out. Son of a bitch. Hold on. OOF. Is that, are you trying to say OnlyFans? Oof. I've been using the Logitech Brio when I was trying to use. Oh my god, the Yeti. There's the Yeti. Yeti, my. Yeah, 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 yeah. Daddy's back and Daddy's ready to attack. Here we go. Here we go. Can't believe this whole motherfucking time for the last 12 minutes I was using the Brio. Ah. I'm all about that gumbo life, dude. Gumbo. That's what I'm eating right now, a little gumbo. Lots of chicken in here. It's gumbo saturated with chicken and rice. Look at that sausage. So good. Hold on. Anyway. Ugh. So, where was I? I'm feeling it though. I want to thank you all for being my AI boyfriends. This is much needed. Cause I need you and I want you crawling underneath my skin. I'm a fan of these tariffs though, man. Let's see what other. Let's just kind of go over maybe a few more pieces of the list. I will admit, reducing the trade deficit. So these tariffs can actually help reduce the trade deficit that's discouraging excessive imports and promoting American exports, which strengthens the overall U.S. economy. Another fun fact is it's promoting global fairness. Look, Trump's policies put pressure on countries with protectionist trade barriers to move toward, more open and fair trade, potentially encouraging global reform in tariff systems. This is huge, man. I'm excited about these. And then I was going to go over these key facts real quick. Another thing is protecting national security. Strategic tariffs on key industries like steel and technology help safeguard critical supply chains, ensuring the U.S. maintains self-reliance in times of crisis. Look, we don't want to be depending on China if we have to go to war with China, right? China doesn't like us. That is very clear. And sometimes you don't want to make a deal with the devil, right? And that's the way it goes. It's a country that doesn't like us. What the? Yeah. Not sure what's happening, but anyway. Overall, let's see. Protecting national security, yeah, strategic tariffs on key energy, yeah, like I already went over that, and then boosting innovation and competitiveness. This is a huge thing. So by supporting domestic producers, reciprocal tariffs can foster innovation and increase the global competitiveness of American products. Huge. And then one more thing. It has positive global ripple effects. So other nations may adopt similar principles, leading to a more balanced and fair international trading system where all countries are encouraged to play by the same rules. That's huge. I'm surprised anybody sees anything wrong with it. But we shall see. We shall see. Let's see. Of course, they don't. Tish Lee says, I'm good with the tariffs. We definitely need to be independent, put more Americans to work, and create more American jobs, without a doubt. Without a doubt. First off, America hasn't really been fully self-reliant for a while. Seriously, if we went to war, like, first off, Biden, dumb little Joe Biden, stopped the construction of, what was it, the Keystone Pipeline, I think? I can't remember which pipeline it was, but he stopped the construction of it. We need natural resources. We need to be an independent country. We need to be able to be energy independent. That's a big thing. Another reason I voted for Trump was because we are not energy independent. We rely so much on the energy from other countries. We got to be more independent. That's the whole purpose. American, obviously we're going to rely on certain industries and things like that, but when it comes to energy, we need to be fully energy independent. That's just the way it is. So that's my thoughts on it. What are your guys' thoughts? Random guy on YouTube, my biological stepson, says, I agree with both of you. Hell yeah, man. Well, even if you didn't, Ty Lord, I'd still love you anyway, man. You're the man now, dog. But yeah, either way, there's going to be a few people that are going to be against. There's going to be, I don't know how many people will be against the tariffs, but it's hard to see why anybody would be against something like this, especially since we get tariffed up the ass all the time by other countries. So, like, it seems pretty fair to me. Like, I don't understand how it's unfair. And plus, the US would make a ton of money from tariffs to the point to where we wouldn't be able to pay off our national debt. Like, why are people against this? Like, sure, is it going to make things a little more expensive? Sure, yes. But we also have a major national debt crisis on our hands. Like, we are $36 trillion in the hole on our debts. People need to actually wake the fuck up and realize these tariffs are not exactly the worst thing in the world. In fact, it's something that's a little bit different than what we've been doing for a while anyway. Maybe we should be thinking a little bit differently, because clearly, whatever the fuck we're doing is just putting us more in the hole. The fact that we're $36 trillion in debt should frighten the shit out of us. I'm actually shocked it doesn't. Frightens the shit out of me. So, I don't know. It's fucking crazy. Let's see. Ty Lord says people are against it because they don't know of what tariffs we have put on us. What tariffs we have put on us. Very small-minded people to be like, yeah. Or what other countries have put on us. Sorry, it's okay. All good. All good. PSU 98, it's 89, says listen to Trump or literally every economist in the world. Actually, there are economists who agree with Trump. You're just choosing to look at the liberal economists who tend to disagree with Trump. Yeah, not every single economist, by the way, disagrees with Trump on this. There may be some headwinds at first, for sure. But this is not a net negative. And the only reason economists are against it is because the stock market's going to take a hit. It absolutely will. People are going to be scared. They're going to sell off their shares of whatever companies they have. I see this all as a buying opportunity. And if you don't see it as a buying opportunity in the stock market, then you're a fool. PSU 89 says headwinds, love it. Hey, look, it's better than what we got going on. All right, this is a change in a different direction, and I think it's probably the right direction, to be honest. And look, PSU, screw you. Oh, so I boiled the hell out of this. Oh, the eagle. If you don't like it, leave. Well, honestly, I think it's good to not like things. I think that people have the right to debate it, to be against it. I think it's good to be against things if you really want to be. Should people leave? Nah, no. But I do believe that, honestly, this is kind of cool. The whole tariff movement, totally fine with it. People say it's going to, economists are saying it's bad. It's like, most of those are probably liberal economists. Think about it. Why do other countries get to tariff us up the ass, but we don't get to tariff them up the ass? I mean, it's kind of fair. The idea of reciprocal tariffs, basically, it's like, okay, you do this to me, well, I'll do this to you as well. But let's see, the economy was on the upswing last year, and now we've already lost all those games, more losses to come. All right, big deal. Well, everybody's selling off in a panic, which is pretty much what everybody's doing because they're fools. I'll be buying more stocks. I don't give a shit. because I know what good companies are and what bad companies are. So, let's see. My boy White Eagle says America was better before Trump. Let's see, should leave instas of ruining the best country in the world. I mean, you can make the same argument about Biden. The Biden administration was so bad that people wanted Trump over Biden. Like, that's something that people need to realize. So you could also say that the Democrats led to this hatred of the Democrats if the Democrats were so good, and then people basically voted for Republicans. Well, basically a guy who was totally opposite of what Democrats were. So I don't know. I we'll see what happens. I'm excited about the tariffs. I really am. I think if you're like the irony is if Joe Biden or Kamala Harris were to do exactly what Donald Trump is doing with these tariffs, people would not be throwing the fit that they're throwing. At least the liberals wouldn't. And I don't even like to call liberals anymore because I'm more of a liberal than liberals. I consider the Democrat Party to becoming like the party of collectivist garbage. Like it's become a total mind fuck, total sensitivity fest. I call it the victim party because all the Democrat parties become is tons of victims. But anyway, let's see here. Let's see. The Eagle says it's bad because it's destroying alliances that took decades to build and that it's being wheeled without proper direction. I don't know. Seems like a fair direction to me. Like, so what? If those alliances are built on tariffs, then it probably wasn't much of an alliance to begin with. In fact, it was probably a weaker. Here's the thing. I look at it like this. If countries break their alliances with us because of tariffs and us matching their tariffs with ours against ours, what's the harm in that? I say lose the alliances. The alliances were probably not even that strong to begin with. The bonds were probably not there. Sometimes it's good to break off those alliances with other countries. So if those alliances crumble because Trump decides to do reciprocal tariffs, by the way, like if I'm a country and I am tariffing you, if I'm doing tariffs of 25%, right, on goods, whatever goods I send to you, or no, that you send to me. Sorry about that. And then you go ahead and then you say, well, all right, we'll do the same to you. 25% to you. It's like, that's fair. Seems pretty fair to me. Like, it honestly seems fair to me. Like, the only reason people aren't liking this is because it's Trump doing it. And look, if we lose some alliances, if those alliances were to break off because of reciprocal tariffs, those alliances were not strong at all and they deserved to break. That's all I got to say about it. Let's see, like Tesla. Let's see, there's a lot of chats here. A lot of chats. Let's see. Disagree, you are speculating. Sure. I'm projecting onto the future. I'm trying to come up with projections, and aren't most things speculation? I wouldn't say most things. I would say some things are. Some things have a history of working. Tariffs actually do have a little bit of a history of working. So, and other countries do tariffs all the time. Why is it such a crime that the U.S. decides to start doing tariffs that kind of match the tariffs that other countries are doing? Like, I don't know. I don't see this as a bad thing. And honestly, if those alliances crumble because of these tariffs, then screw it. Let the alliances crumble. Let's see. Tish says we were being financially screwed and taken advantage of by all kinds of countries. We've just basically said we're not taking it anymore. Yeah, sometimes you got to fight back. If other countries are if China's going to tariff us massively, well, let's tariff them back. It's like, you want to import goods to our country too? Okay. If you're going to do 40% tariff on us sending things to you, let's do a tariff on 40% on you sending things to us. I think it's fair. I think it's good. I think it'll bring manufacturing back to America. It's better than what people think. And honestly, I'm all on board. I'm on board the Trump train, man. I saw what the Democrats did to this country. And yeah, I'm fully on board. It was going to get worse anyway, so chances are it'll just get better. It still could get worse, but who knows? Um, the Eagle says you don't know what's going on inside of anyone else's head any better than they know what's going on inside of yours. Yeah, yeah, I think it's good though. If you know, I look at it like this: if other countries can hit us with a bat, and we're only allowed to hit them back with a fist, well, I say that we hit them back with a bat or greater, if that's the case. I just don't. I don't see the problem here. Let's see. The Eagle says we have been a supporting force in the world, and because of that, the world has recognized and followed our lead for almost a century. We have been a supporting force in the world, and because at one point we did actually have quite a bit of tariffs within other countries. You do know that, right? Like, that's probably one of the reasons why other countries do tariffs the way they do, because we used to do tariffs the way that countries currently do tariffs. So I don't know. I still don't understand why this is such a big deal. Supporting force in the world. Yeah, I don't know. I still don't see the tariffs as a net negative. And yeah, like I still like nobody's giving me any reason. Like nobody's giving me a reason why this is a bad thing. Why is it a bad thing to match the tariffs that are being imposed on us and imposing the same type of percentages on the other country? That seems pretty, I love how Democrats say they love fair. Well, this is fair. If China's going to do tariffs 25% on us, we'll do 25% tariffs on China. That's so simple. And in fact, that might be the fairest thing of them all. So I don't know why it's such a big deal. I know why, though. It's because Trump is doing it. If anybody else was doing this, it would be no problem. But people have this level of Trump derangement. Like, they just hate him. They'll follow any news stories that show any negative opinion. And honestly, like, I don't trust the mainstream media at all at this point. Like, if CNN gives me a news story, I don't trust it. MSNBC gives me a news story, don't trust it at all. Fox News, don't trust it whatsoever. I really don't. I don't trust the mainstream media because it's all owned by elites who I firmly believe want to destroy the country. And I feel like for the first time, we're actually kind of being led by some elites who actually want to see a better vision for America. So I have no problem with it. PSU 99 says branch out from just right or left opinions. Google, what do the world's economists think of the new tariff? I don't care what the economists think, because if there are economists who are against this, I'm shocked. I'm legitimately shocked. Of course, I don't know, maybe most economists are pretty have a lot of Trump derangement syndrome. Anyway, I don't know. A lot of economists, here's the thing. For every economist that doesn't like this, I'm curious to see the economists that do like it. Because I find it hard to believe that every single economist is all on board being against this. I just highly doubt that. I think that the news will point it one way, that they find 20 economists who tend to lean their way. And then they're going to say, well, what do you think about it? And clearly the leftist economists are going to be like, yeah, it's terrible, blah. It'll crash the market. Market crashed in the after hours. That doesn't matter. It's short-term shit. Anybody who cares about the market crashing in the short term is short-term thinking anyway. Don't care. But I like it. I really like it. I'm all on board, dude. I'm so fucking on board right now. We aren't matching their tariffs. We're exceeding their tariffs. Oh, sick. That's even better. That's even better. I thought it was matching. Well, there we go. I got it wrong. Well, that's even better. We're exceeding? Hell yeah. Well, fuck. We've been tariffed by them for so long. We kind of have to get a little bit that's owed back to us. So, kind of sounds fair to me. Cool. Let's see. PSU 89 says, yeah, who needs other countries? Nationalism is the answer. Look, if other countries want to go to war over tariffs, who's in the wrong?
Ask yourself the question, who's in the wrong? The country who wants to go to war over tariffs. So, I don't know. Let's see. Eagle says it seems fair to you because you're uninformed on the numbers. Yeah, sometimes I am. I don't have every single stat. I don't have every single number. Sometimes there has to be inference. That's just the way things roll. There's no problem with that at all. I am completely fine with not having all the data. And you don't need all the data. Sometimes you could be inundated by too much data. So my point is, not only do I love the idea, I love the execution of tariffs in practice. Because if we're going to get tariffed up the ass by other countries, let's stick a rod up theirs, I still, like I said, still not seeing how this is a bad thing, you guys. Like, let's see. PSU 89 says, look at history. Let's see, William. Let's see. Eagle says, no, he's only tariffing the immediate rivals of his political parties. All right. And what would that be? What do you mean the immediate? Are you talking about the countries rivals of his political parties? The fuck did you hear that from? Anyway, let's see. PSU says, I don't know how to respond to that. I don't know. I just think that honestly, there have been countries that have, like I said, tariffed us up the ass. Like, so I don't see a problem with it. Well, and let's see. PSU 89 says, well, he did impose tariffs on uninhabited island in Antarctica, so that's great. Okay, cool. Derico Chapman says, what's up, boss? Oh, nothing much, man. I'm just reacting to the tariffs, and I think it's a good thing. I got some people detracting, and that's fine. Detraction's a good thing, man. Should always be people questioning things that are being done. Like I said, I see no problem with tariffs. Let's see. The Eagle says an eye for an eye leaves the whole world blind. Okay, but also I'm not going to let you take out both of my eyes just because you can. Actually, I do hate that saying, an eye for an eye leaves the whole world blind. It's not that great of a saying. I've actually kind of evaluated that a little bit, because here's the thing. It's like, you shouldn't just lay down and take it. I think the thing is, an eye for an eye doesn't really, in the long run, leave the whole world blind if it's all isolated to two just individuals, For instance, if somebody, or just countries in general, I don't know. The whole point is this. If somebody is going to blatantly rip me off time and time again, maybe I should retaliate. If somebody, okay, I'll give you an example. Somebody starts punching me, thinking that they could beat me up, right? Should I just let them keep doing it? Or should I teach them a lesson because they think they're teaching me a lesson? But I'm going to retaliate back. I will fight fire with fire. Sometimes the only answer to violence is violence. Sometimes you can't reason. I'm just saying that in the general sense. So my saying is this: you're going to tariff me? All right, I'll tariff you. I see nothing wrong with that. That sounds very fair. And and here's the thing. Trump is also saying, if you're going to reduce your tariffs on us, we'll reduce our tariffs on you. It's called negotiation. And it's not, here's the thing. You could either be passive and take it up the ass, or you could say, no, I'm standing my ground and saying, screw off. I'm going to tariff you the way you've tariffed us. Sounds perfectly fair to me. And yeah, and everybody's like, oh, Gandhi's such a great guy. Yeah, he was. He was a pretty incredible philosopher, to be honest. But an eye for an eye, I don't know if that necessarily applies to this. I say, if you're going to try to take out my eye, though, take out yours. That's the way I look at it, at least. Let's see. Derico Chapman says, you're cool as fuck. I like you. Thank you, brother. I don't know. I'm not that cool. I'm kind of a fat ass. Let's see. But I just have my own opinions. Let's see. PSU 89 says the reasons are experts in history, trade wars have never worked. This isn't a trade war. This is basically us saying we're tired of you tariffing us, so we're going to tariff back. I don't see how that's a trade war. Seems pretty even to me. Seems pretty fair to me. I just don't understand how any of this is unfair. Derico says Trump just having fun and doing what makes him feel good. Yeah, probably. I'm just about what's best for America, and I honestly think we have $36 trillion in debt. It ain't getting paid off anytime soon by conventional means. We can either cut some federal programs that we don't need, put some tariffs out there. We should keep federal income tax for now. We got to pay down the debt. The debt needs to be paid down. If it isn't paid down, it needs to be paid down, dude. I don't know how anything I'm saying doesn't make sense, but, you know, whatever. It's the right path to me. Tish says, bingo, yes, it's Trump derangement syndrome. Yeah, I think so. Let's see. Not interested in what the world community says. Not interested in what the news says. Not interested in what historians said. Just interested in what that man with the orange hair. Actually, no, I'm interested in history. I am actually interested in history. And yes, we have tariffed in the past, by the way. We have done tariffs in the past. And I can't remember how long ago it was. Not going to look it up right now because I really don't care. I just don't see anything wrong with tariffs. Everybody thinks tariff is this like bad word, but the U.S. gets tariffed by other countries every day. Why are other countries doing it? Why can't we do it? Can somebody please explain that to me, please? Why can't we tariff the way that other countries tariff us? Like, if you put it in that perspective, how is that a bad thing? I don't know. But whatever. Let's see. PSU 89 says, right, Google it. You'll see both sides. Yeah. Well, yeah, Google only puts the left-wing media on there. They don't put any of the Google's very biased. But, you know, I don't really listen to any media anymore. I don't really care at this point. The mainstream media is definitely lying most of the time. I mean, sometimes they tell the truth. I'm not going to say everything is a lie, but I just don't listen to the mainstream media at this point because I just don't trust it. I trust Donald Trump more than I trust the mainstream media. I'll say that. And I don't really trust him that much, just to saying. Let's see. Tish says, let's see. Let's see what else is on here. Let's see. Derek O. Chapman says Illuminati. PSU 89, you literally have no idea how tariffs work. Just drink the Kool-Aid one. First off, I may not know every single intricacy of tariffs, but they have been done. They're done by other countries all the time. They're done by other countries all the time. Why is it suddenly wrong for us to do that? Why is it wrong for us to do it? Like, so let me get this straight. You can be fully clothed, but I have to be naked? That doesn't make sense to me. If other countries can do tariffs, we should too. Like my logic and reasoning is pretty fucking simple. And I didn't really know much about tariffs before all this. Kind of educated myself a little bit. I still have gray areas naturally, but doesn't everybody? Derek O. Chapman says, end times, game over. May says, willful ignorance. I don't have all the info, nor do I want it. We're literally not being tariffed out the ass by other countries. They're counting stuff that's not tariff. I don't know exactly what you're saying there. But yeah, look, nobody can have all the facts at one time. I mean, I probably could, but I can't handle all those in my brain at one time and be a functional human being. I am not AI. I can make make conclusions to the best of my ability, not perfectly. But anyway, it's a messy business. An eye for an eye is to keep things fair. Well, maybe people need to stop fucking attacking each other, you know? Yes, he's cool. He's just humble. Let's see. You just defined the trade wars as PSU. Oh, did I? Seriously, I mean, so here's the thing. So here's what I don't get. It's very one-sided. Why has it been one-sided for so long? That actually is kind of concerning, you know. PSU 89 says, "Can the wealthy pay their fair share?" Yeah, I don't know. I think everybody should be. Here's the thing. I have a very unpopular opinion on taxes, by the way. I think everybody should be taxed a flat rate. Percentage rate, by the way. I think 8% is fair. It doesn't matter how much money you make. Just 8% of your income goes straight to the government. That's fine. I'm cool with that. That way nobody's overly taxed, nobody's underly taxed. It just doesn't matter. I think it's a flat tax is the way to go. But I'm probably in the minority on that one, sadly. The Eagle says, "We consistently tariff. I can't believe he is uninformed before giving a speech about something like this." I don't know. He seems pretty knowledgeable to me, at least in my opinion. Let's see. I'm gonna try to read these as quickly as I can. Let's see and try to respond. I'm interested in history, yet you ignore the tariffs we did in the Great Depression. Tariffs are fine. We tariff, they tariff, but to this extent is probably the dumbest thing I've ever seen. I mean, they lower their tariffs, we'll lower ours back. Fair is fair. As my boy would say, game is game. So let's see. The Eagle says the reason it is wrong is because of the targets we are choosing and the reasonings we are using to do it. Well, I don't know. China's been, it's funny. China has been petty to us sometimes. Sometimes they've been nice to us. Sometimes they've been dicks to other countries. Sometimes they've been nice. Honestly, I think no matter what, every leader of every country is going to do something petty from time to time. They're going to do it based on whatever reason. I'm not all for it, but I'm fine with it. I wanted, the reason I voted for Donald Trump, actually, fun fact, everybody, I wanted tariffs. I was very intrigued by the whole idea. Not just the idea, but the implementation of it. So I'm actually very excited to see it being implemented. This will honestly bring manufacturing back into the U.S., whether you realize it or not. And you don't believe me, that's fine. We'll see what the results are. The mainstream media is going to constantly berate Donald Trump. The reason I don't trust the mainstream media, by the way, not just the berating of Donald Trump, there have been several instances where things have been misreported, false stuff, and people, it's funny, people love using the word fact these days on everything. So even mainstream media will say that something is a fact when it usually ends up not being one later on down the road. So I don't trust the fact checkers anymore. I just don't think that they're factual, to be honest. Anybody can say anything's a fact, and then people are expected to believe that. It's just sad. So I just don't watch the mainstream media news. I really don't. I take it all with a grain of salt. I do like to try to find independent sources that are reputable. I do like to find real journalists if I can, which there aren't many left, unfortunately. So I kind of really just don't consume a lot of news, but I do like to try to read history to the best of my ability, and and just see what's being done now. I just don't see a problem with it. I really don't. Let's see. The Eagle says, "Why did you completely ignore my explanation of why the tariffs were targeting auto industries that were opponents to Elon?" Well, I guess I could answer that now. I guess I didn't see it before. Maybe I forgot about it one way or another. Let's see. Yeah, honestly, like, that's a little messed up if that's the case, but Biden targeted Tesla unfairly and actually excluded him from a lot of Tesla excluded the EV maker from a lot of different EV events and stuff like that. So look, Tesla has been unfairly targeted. So I mean, I'm not saying it's right, but you know, you could say the same thing about Joe Biden. I mean, I would say Joe Biden was a net negative for America. I think that honestly, Donald Trump is becoming a net positive. People don't, here's the thing, the reason people don't like what's happening is because it is rapid change. And I kind of started thinking about it and I was like, maybe this isn't such a bad thing. Maybe it isn't, because, and I'm not trying to get anybody on my side. I know I'm only making people more angry with my beliefs, and that's fine. You know, people have the right to be angry. But yeah, I see nothing, like I said, still see nothing wrong with what's going on here. I think the only thing is, anything that Donald Trump does, if somebody hates Donald Trump, they will oppose it. I swear, if Barack Obama was doing these tariffs, I don't think leftists would even give a shit. Oh, by the way, Obama and kids in cages, don't forget that, by the way, to anybody out there who forgot about the terrible atrocities under the Obama administration and the Biden administration. Tons of terrible things. Anyway. And like you guys tell me, look it up. Google it. Like a lot of people say that to me. That's fine. Let's see. PSU89 says the U.S. is one of the world's wealthiest, yet we are fiscally irresponsible. Yeah, we have. Dude, the U.S. has been awful. We print money up the ass, which is terrible, by the way. It's shitty. I fucking hate it. I hate the way the U.S. government spends money. And I'm glad that the Department of Government Efficiency exists, because we need to double down on getting rid of this fucking debt. The debt needs to go away. Tim Smith says that guy on Caleb today was nuts. He was obsessed with COVID. I saw that clip you sent me, man, or at least that timestamp. I watched that a little bit. That was funny as shit, though. The fact that he was like an OnlyFans model and shit. I was like, damn, dude. Get it. Let's see. But yeah, honestly, it doesn't surprise me that some of the people that go on the Caleb Hammer financial audit are out of their fucking minds. Let's see. May says we have tariffs already. What do you mean it's one-sided? Literally, what the fuck? Well, I don't know. They're taxing. They're doing tariffs up the ass on us. We should be able to do a little bit of tariffs up the ass on them. A hole for a hole. Tim Smith says he did OnlyFans and said he made $15 from some old lady paying to see his belly button. I saw that part. That was funny as shit, dude. I gotta watch that whole one. This guy, the guy, I think I feel like the dude on there was probably acting a little bit, but I'm very curious. Let's see. Tishley says 100% agree on flat tax. Yeah, I would love to see a flat tax. I don't care how rich or poor you are. If you make an income, just 8% flat tax. I think that's fair, and that should be enough income flow coming in to take care of whatever. And then we cut some federal programs, put the tariffs out. I think that's fine. But yeah, I'm fine with these tariffs. Let's see. PSU 89 says trade war is we raise tariffs and then they raise tariffs and repeat until recession. It's happened several times. Senators voted 51-48 Wednesday to reject the national emergency Trump declared earlier this year to justify his plan to slap 25% tariffs on Canadian imports. Canada survives. Yeah. Damn it, Tim. Damn it. We're trying to fuck Canada. No, I'm just kidding. Let's see. The whole point of tariffs is to bring jobs back to the middle. This is what Tim's saying. The whole point of tariffs is to bring jobs back to the middle class so Americans can afford larger families. I'm Canadian and support Trump's tariffs. Oh, we got a Canadian. We got a Canadian who support. I'm not saying everybody should support it. I say debate me if you want. I don't care. Say whatever you want. Because I'm totally fine with. I like hearing all of these things that people are saying. I don't necessarily think I agree with them, but I try to keep an open mind. I'm a little closed on this one, though. I am very tariff sexual, by the way. But yeah, like I was talking about earlier, I was going over a few of these. It levels the playing field. Trump's reciprocal tariff policy aims to match tariffs imposed by other countries, ensuring American products are not unfairly taxed abroad. This promotes fairer global trading practices. Like I just, yeah. Like I said, encourages domestic manufacturing. It's trade negotiation leverage too here. You're reducing the trade deficit. I was trying to point all those out, but nobody wants to hear that. And also, I think some of the strategic tariffs are pretty cool too. Like on some of the industries like steel and technology to help safeguard supply chains, ensuring the U.S. maintains self-reliance in times of crisis. If things go to shit, we need to be energy independent. We need to be able to manufacture steel in the U.S. It's a huge deal, by the way. And yeah, there's a lot of things we still need to manufacture in the U.S. to maintain some level of independence. We have become far too reliant on other countries. And by the way, there are a lot of companies from other countries who are totally on board with this. So, like, I don't know. Maybe it's a thing that some people can't see. Some people are just against tariffs. Some people, the irony is this. I'm going to tell everybody this real quick. The irony is this. People hate businessmen because businessmen are selfish, but they're successful and they create a product and a service. People love government men, right? Because government men are so good at kissing your ass and telling you what you want to hear. But the truth is, the real selfish people, if we're going to be really selfish, are the people who are in the government for far too long. Those are the selfish people. People who don't, in my opinion, I think most lifelong politicians don't contribute anything at all of any good to society to create more problems than solutions. I love capitalism. I love the fact that there are products and services always being designed, created to solve problems. Capitalism is a problem-solving game, whereas big government is a problem-creating game. That's what I see it as. Anyway. Incompetent people, by the way, love power. So that's why you see a lot of incompetent people in government. Trump may be slightly incompetent. I have to admit that. I think he might be. I think anybody who gets into government traditionally is an incompetent person seeking power over others because they cannot control their own lives. That's my philosophy on it. But anyway, let me continue reading. I've got to go through these chat. I got to answer these because I'm very enticed by what people are saying here. Their tariffs were already low, just like ours were against them. The fuck are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about either. Afford larger families. What the fuck? I don't know. Let's see. The Eagle says we are antagonizing nations that are our primary trade provider: South Korea, Canada, Mexico, and China. I don't know, dude. Look, if sometimes you have to ruffle some feathers. Sometimes, I guess the old saying goes, you have to crack a few eggs to make an omelet. I don't like that saying, but there may be some truth to it, Sometimes you just have to ruffle the feathers because the only way, by the way, to get anywhere is through a little bit of resistance, right? Sometimes change is not easy. Sometimes change is a pain in the butt. I know that for a fact in my life. I've had to go through numerous changes of just anything, really. So I don't know. Let's see. The Eagle says, in my opinion, it is because Elon is threatened by Ford, who does most of their EV production over there. Dude, I don't. That is such a far stretch. Like Ford, I'm not gonna lie. Even if Ford is competition to a degree, but it's not like they're kind of in a different space. Now, Ford does EVs for sure, but not as well as Tesla. In a weird way, Tesla corners the EV market big time. There are other EV competitors out there. I don't know. I still think that what Elon and Trump are doing is for the betterment of America and not like for the detriment. believe that or not, but whatever. Most people are going to hear all the negative news headlines about Trump and all the negative news lines about Elon. The news is only there to get people enraged about things. The news loves it because the news can report on people vandalizing Teslas all day and hurting other people. That's just, we love to watch a train wreck, unfortunately. People want to watch this because they want to see my train wreck of a reaction to whatever's going on, which honestly, it's a bit of a train wreck, but sometimes it's a little bit of a crazy one. I'm fine with the tariffs. Like, I just don't understand. It just says we can get our manufacturing and drilling done here. We have plenty of Americans to have jobs and our money going back in our country and our American citizens. Yeah. I want to see more manufacturing here. I would love to actually see more drilling here. There's a lot of oil here in America still that can be found. So good. Tish, you're on one. You're on one. I don't know. I like it. Look, I'm all about America getting back as a superpower. I feel like we are losing our superpower capabilities. And I'd love to see America. I really want to see America great again. I really do. That's why I love the whole Make America Great Again movement. People say it's some racist bullshit. Now it's not. If people really dug deep a little bit, they'd see that there's a vision here. One of the reasons the Democrats lost the election, just as a heads up, is because the Democrats lacked vision. They had no vision for America. At least Trump said, hey, I want to make America great again. And also, let's get this old bastard out of the office. Let's get fucking Joe Biden out of here. And we do not want incompetent Kamala. Hell no. So that's what ended up happening. Tesla, let's see. PSU 89 says Tesla has how much government subsidies, or is that a fact that doesn't matter? Yeah, and you know who gave it to him? Joe Biden, by the way. Joe Biden, by the way, Elon Musk used to be a Democrat darling. Now he's an enemy of the Democrat. Now they all call him Hitler. They once called him like the savior, the EV king, and now they're calling him Hitler. I think the irony is that the leftists will go in any direction the wind takes them. If anybody disagrees with the leftists, they tend to throw fits and destroy property, destroy people's lives. It's terrible. I don't agree with it. Let's see. Tim Smith says, hey, May, Congress voted down the Canadian tariffs. Tariffs against Canada isn't about Canada. It's about maximizing domestic manufacturing in the U.S. If Canada wants, they can sell to Europe and Asia. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. But yeah, I think it's great. I think more manufacturing in the U.S. is a better thing. I'm all for it. I can't wait to see the fact that new factories are opening up. There are tons of companies who are on board with this, by the way, that are actually promising to start opening plants up in the U.S. How is this a bad thing? Like, especially when there are so many like companies on board with this. So I don't know. I love it, man. Let's see. PSU 89 says Trump hated EVs until he met Elon, who offered to pay for his election. Now Trump likes Elon's EVs. Well, that could be the case, but as you guys keep telling me, where's your proof? It sounds like you guys are the conspiracy theorists, not me. No, actually, there are things you have to infer. So I like the fact that people are connecting these dots. I don't agree with the connections that people are making, but whatever. PSU 89 says, oil, really? Can we move on from that dependency? No, I think so. Here's the thing. By the way, I love solar. I love wind energy. I love just electric vehicles in general. I think that clean energy alternatives are a great thing, and I am all on board. I still think we need oil, though. We need oil. We need solar. I think nuclear, safely. Yeah, safe. I don't know, as safe as you can get with nuclear. But science is getting better. Yeah. Just says amen. PSU 89 says, one thing I can agree with, Dems have no plan. Yeah, the Democrats have had zero plan. One of the reasons the Democrats have become so fucking unpopular is because they have no vision for America. I call them the party of status quo, because they're not even progressive anymore. I would say they're not even, now they're regressive in certain areas, but I say the Democrats are very stagnant, and the party got lazy because they thought they got a little too confident, thinking that they could just win over people. They didn't win over me. They didn't win over a lot of people. And yeah, so now we got my boy you and tariffs. Totally fine with it. I'm curious to see what it is, see what happens, just to see what the result is. Let's see. The Eagle says just 20 minutes ago, Mike was talking about how Biden was unfair to Musk. The other way, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I would say that completely. And look, there's gonna be favorites. Most presidents are human. I'm not saying that what Biden did was good. I'm not saying what Trump's doing is good. Sometimes Trump does some dumbass shit. But Biden did a lot of dumbass shit, more than Trump. And I will say this: Trump has a team of people who are smarter than him, advising him, working with him. He's still making the decisions, I think, as intelligently as he can. But the one thing that I will say about Trump is he's taking the Henry Ford. Was it Henry Ford? Yes, Henry Ford approach, who said, look, I don't need to be the smartest man in the room. I just need to fill the room with the smartest people I can get a hold of. So he filled the room with the smartest people he could. He had every person and an expert in some other field on speed dial. And Trump is doing the same thing. He's trying to get the best and the brightest on his team, and they're trying to solve a lot of the problems that have been killing us in the public sector for government. So I don't know. Totally on board. PSU89 says the right disagreed and destroyed properly, aka the Capitol. It's on both sides. But how often does this happen? Ask me the question. Well, I'll ask you the question. How often does this happen? It seems that a lot of the looting and the burning of buildings and stuff like that and the burning of small businesses seem to be happening with, usually radicalized college kids who are brainwashed by their stupid fucking professors. No, it happens on both sides, but on a very disproportionate level, by the way. I would say that there's more vandalism that occurs through people on the left. And look, I don't want to make this a two-sided thing, but there's basically people who there are people who want to peacefully protest, and there are people who don't want to peacefully protest. There are people who get angry when you disagree with them to the point that they'll vandalize shit. And honestly, they're fucking babies, and I don't succumb to that. And honestly, anybody who tells me I'm wrong, okay, I do reevaluate things, but for right now, I believe I'm fucking right. And people don't like that level of confidence these days. They don't. Now, I do have the ability to change my mind. I just don't want to. Not at the moment, at least. Maybe later on down the road. But anyway. Let's see. May said, he blocked me for asking questions. Who blocked you? Wait, who the hell blocked you? I know YouTube sometimes censors comments if there's too much profanity. They'll automatically censor it. So I don't actually censor anybody in my chat. YouTube might censor you though, just as a heads up. I'm not afraid of what you have to say. I really am not. I think my beliefs may be a little bit, probably a little bit rough sometimes, but whatever. But I'm okay with losing an argument. I lose a lot of arguments. But I also win a few. Let's see. The Eagle says, how are companies not following environmental protocols a bad thing? I don't think I should have to explain that to you, nor why we don't drill for oil so much or manufacture our own steel anymore. Well, we should still be energy independent, so we should still try to manufacture our own steel, and we should still try to dig for oil. Yeah, it needs to happen. Sorry. You want to be, I'm sorry, the world still runs on oil. We're still trying to make as many green alternatives as we can. That's great. I want to see more green alternatives, but while those green alternatives are being developed, we're still going to use oil. Is it ideal? No. But maybe we as the people need to stop consuming so much fucking energy. That's another thing. So that's something to consider. Give me a second, you guys. I know I'm really behind on these chats, and I'm trying to keep up with everybody. There's just so many chats. And if I missed any, I've missed a few chats. I just realized, shit. Oh, man, hold on. Canada will be fine without us. It's us. I'm worried about without Canada. Yeah, I missed a few chats, you guys. I'm sorry. Sometimes I get a little technical difficulties here. Look at, see, Canada will be fine without us. It's us that I'm worried about without Canada. I think we're fine without Canada. I mean, we still need Canada to a degree, but like, you know, whatever. Hey, Tim, we are still tariffing Canada. Let's see. You have no idea what nations are applying tariffs to any others. It is really bad for this video. Yeah. If you could have at least a little bit of factual information relating to the rates of tariffs between these nations instead of saying things like it's out the butt. I don't know. I saw some of the numbers. Do I memorize them? No, I don't really care. All I know is that if they're tariffing us, let's tariff them. It's honestly simple. You don't even need the numbers. You just need the basic logic. Let's see. And honestly, we should be matching their tariffs. I think it's good. Let's see, it's not actually going to reduce trade deficit, though. It's just going to reduce international trade. Okay. All right. We should not manufacture steel in the United States because of the byproduct. Well, we still need to manufacture it. The point is, through an... well, okay, then fine. So we'll have it manufactured in some other country and have that other country suffer from the byproducts. Okay. That sounds pretty ethical. No, it doesn't. It doesn't sound ethical at all. In fact, I think... I don't know. Look, everything is risk. Everything's a pollutant. Everything's a whatever. Things happen. It sucks. It's not easy. And sometimes tough decisions got to be made. Tariffs, it's, you know, I don't think anybody wants to make it too light, but sometimes, you know, makes these decisions too lightly. Sometimes it needs to be done. Let's see, more tariffs, less cheap plastic crap from China, please, says Tim Smith. Absolutely, dude. Yeah, absolutely. I want to see more shit manufactured in the U.S. for fuck's sakes. And by the way, if that puts Temu out of business, thank fucking God. Thank fucking God. Temu is terrible. I've heard a lot of horror stories from shit that people have gotten from Temu. Civil servant says the Eagle. Okay. Here's a fact you can't ignore. The U.S. currently accounts for deficit narrowed by, let's see, $6.3 billion or 2.0% to $303.9 billion in the fourth quarter of 2024. Yes, current account deficit. What are you talking about exactly? Tim Smith says, I'm so sick of globalization. The UN, the WEF, Schwab, Soros. I hope every country tariffs each other at 100%. Maybe. That'd be interesting. Every country doing 100% tariff on each other. That'd be wild. Oh, that'd be crazy. I'd like to simulate that. Let's see. May says, I agree with some things you say, but I feel like talking to isn't productive as you're purposefully keeping yourself away from all information. Why you skip the question about Canada? First off, I didn't mean to skip any questions. I legitimately, there was a chunk of chats that I didn't get to, and I'm trying to get to them now. I didn't realize it until now. So I don't like to get, I'm trying here. Sometimes technical malfunctions happen. I'm sorry, you guys. Let's see. The Eagle says maybe it was Trump, May. Let's see. He felt threatened by your questions about Canada. Yeah. Let's see. Random guy, my biological stepson says he doesn't block. He's going through each comment. Yeah, just going through all the comments here. I'm trying. If I do skip any, it isn't intentional, by the way. I really do try to go through. I want everybody's voice to be heard on this, because hearing my stupid voice, maybe people will change some minds on here. I don't know. Let's see. I see all your comments, not blocked by him. If that was the case, you couldn't comment. Yeah. I really don't like blocking people, man. The Eagle says saying that a bad plan is better than no plan is kind of like burning down your house rather than sitting in it. Well, first off, I never said, by the way, that Trump's plan was a bad one. I actually think it's a very good one. I think that we have been bullied on the tariff front to the point to where we're not expected to tariff other countries. And yeah, maybe we're going a little crazy on the tariffs. Oh well. It'll be interesting to see. Look, sometimes it's a bit of a gamble. I'm not much of I don't like gambling that much. I really don't. But there are always elements of risk when you have to take a chance. I think it's fine. I'm concerned for sure. I think everybody should be concerned. Any sort of level of change should always bring up a bit of concern. And to say that I'm not concerned in some degree would be a lie. But for the most part, I think it's interesting. I think it's great. Are the markets going to react well to it? No. You're probably going to see a stock market crash tomorrow. I'm not saying it's going to happen. But you'll probably see the markets crash. And if they crash, they crash. It's because investors are panicking. I plan on buying as many different shares of whatever companies I can get my grubby hands on tomorrow. But, yeah. The Eagle says buy a percentage. Yeah. I can't remember what that was relating to. But I'm assuming the percentage of each tariff or something. Let's see. Random guy on YouTube says, I see that them perfectly fine. Okay. He filled wealthiest. Okay. PSU89 says, he filled the room with the wealthiest, see the inauguration cast, and they are all looking out for themselves. So much for draining the swamp. First off, everybody looks out for themselves. If you think that you, PSU89, are not a selfish cunt, just like them, you're delusional. You're just as selfish as they are. I'm just as selfish as you are. The point is, actually, there are levels and degrees of selfishness for everybody, but I'm not here to judge who's selfish and who's not. Everybody's selfish. Everybody looks out for their self-interest. There's no shame in that, by the way. You have to. But you can also, while looking out for your self-interest, be a giver and be somebody who cares. Yes, you can. And that's what they're doing. Honestly, they could go back to their cushy lives. They are ridiculed every day. They are threatened. The whole Doge team is threatened 24/7 by a bunch of crazy leftists for doing what they're doing. You know what? It would be easy. First off, Elon doing this doesn't make him any richer. In fact, if anything, it's making the stock price of his company go lower. It's making his net worth go lower. It's making him increasingly unpopular with leftists, who are pretty much the primary purchasers of his EVs. By the way, fun fact, Elon Musk only owns about like 12% of Tesla at this point, and I think he's mainly the stakeholder in SpaceX. So what I'm trying to say is this: before you start vandalizing Teslas and saying that the whole Tesla company is evil, he doesn't own that much of the company. I think 12 or 20% or something. He's not like a full-ass owner anymore. So before everybody starts grinding their gears, fucking getting their mussies up in a bunch. Consider that fact. And also, yeah, those wealthy people could be doing better, could be doing not better things, because honestly, I think what they're doing is actually kind of cool. They are taking a hit to their image, because not in a bad way, not that because what they're doing is bad, because leftists love to smear people. They love to talk mad shit about people. They don't like to create anything. They like to destroy things. I don't like what the left has become. I used to vote Democrat when I was younger because the left has become so insufferable. I had no choice but to vote for Donald Trump in 2016. I had no choice. So I did it. I did have a choice, obviously, but ethically, I was like, fuck it, I'm voting for Trump. Let's see. Random guy on YouTube says, then I don't know. Yeah, it looks like a bunch of May's messages. I'm looking at it, says message retracted, message retracted, message retracted. Lots of May's messages keep getting retracted, and I don't know why. Maybe May is removing them on her own, I think. Random guy on YouTube says, to be honest, I don't think you were blocked, but it's okay. Do you? Well, let's see. Let's see. The Eagle says, look into the Clean Air Act, Mike. It's something that Trump did, and I want you to read about it, what it actually says. I'm pretty sure there's probably some favoritism towards Tesla and Elon Musk. I wouldn't be surprised. Everybody plays favorites, man. Doesn't matter who you are. Whether you're Joe Biden, whether you're Kamala, whether you're Donald J. Trump, everybody plays favorites at some level of power. Hell, if I was president, I would play. I'd play favorites. I would have my buddy. I'd have my buddy Billy, who's commenting, also known as the White Eagle. I'd have him in my cabinet in a heartbeat. Mainly because we have opposing viewpoints. I like it when people disagree with me. I'm not gonna lie. I do enjoy. I don't even get really all that offended. I do like to state my beliefs, and I am a little arrogant, but yeah, ultimately I love people who disagree with me, and I love people who honestly are just I just like it when people are honest about their about their beliefs, whether they agree with me, whether they disagree with me, as long as they're speaking from a place of from their soul. That's all I really care about. Anyway, let's see. The Eagle says, lol, I'm going to save some energy and sign off. You have a good night, Brown Turtle, my man. Absolutely. But yeah, I think I should definitely take a look into some of that for sure. Get a good idea of what's up. But no, man, keep it coming, man. I think it's good for people to disagree with me, especially my good friends. I appreciate that. And, my buddy White Eagle, he believes in a few different things. I'm some things I'm not on board with. I'm like, it just doesn't sound like a good idea. But I'm honest. He's honest with me. I'm honest with him. That's the way it should be. And I don't want to back down out of peer pressure, I know people want to change my mind on a lot of things, but I wouldn't say I'm set in my ways. I do adjust a lot on a lot of things, but there are some things I'm just like, Let's see. Tim Smith said, this is the most Chinese bots I've seen in a Michael Garza chat before. Maybe. I mean, first off, I am a Chinese bot, by the way. Just to let you guys know, I was created in a Temu, in a manufacturing area somewhere, and then sold on Temu. The person who runs this channel is just some guy eating Doritos off his chest in the other room. I'm just an AI bot. No, just kidding. But no, I'm a robot. Let's see. Random guy on YouTube says lol, and then no kidding, says Michael Donaldson. May says, come when we actually ask questions you want to write us as Chinese. Nah, who knows who the Chinese bots are these days. I'm a Chinese bot. Manufacture the hell out of it. Hell yeah, says Tish. Says May says, yeah, there are ways to deal with steel byproducts. It's fine. We have regulations. Yep. You think these tariffs are necessary? To the moon we go. Fiscal flows are still fine. People are panicking. Let's see. Yeah, honestly, look, people are going to panic. Big changes usually cause big panic. That's just human nature. People really, even though people say they embrace change and they like change, human beings actually don't really like change. We do adapt. We usually get pissed about change. But human beings ultimately do adapt. Like, whenever change happens, yeah, I get pissed about it. If it's really massive, I'm like, depends on what the change is, though. But I get pissed and I adapt. Sometimes you gotta get pissed and you gotta adapt. That's about it sucks. World can be a little bit of a cool bit. But, yeah. All right, I think I've been on here long enough. I am a little bit tired. I was gonna eat the rest of my gumbo. I still got some gumbo that I gotta finish off, and then I'm probably gonna go to bed. But yeah, if anybody has any super chats, I am a simp for super chats, by the way, as you all know. I'm a huge simp for the super chats. Whatever it is, baby, I heard days like this. I gotta check my phone out real quick. Hold on. All right, but how do you guys feel about Liberation Day? Happy Liberation Day, by the way. My biological AI stepson, says, "Oh, by the way, can I get out of the trunk now?" Dude, that's on you. It was unlocked the whole time. There's a fucking lever. Get the F out, bro. Oh, man. Dude, the lever was always there. You were able to get out at any time. I keep that thing unlocked. The fuck? See how far I can stretch my eyelid out. Ooh. Got stretchy skin, man. I am a gum fruit user. Man, I've had a consistent, looks like 7 viewers this whole time, man. This is great. To all the viewers out there, I appreciate you. Ty Lord says, what? I'm going to eat some red vines in front of you guys here. He's going to see me down a few red vines. I'm going to shove these up my ass. No, just kidding. Hmm. 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 It better not tariff. If red vines are not made in the U.S., they better not tariff the country who makes the red vines. Oh, they sure are, man. These are absolutely delicious poison, man. Absolutely. Mm. Mm. So good. So good. Oh, yeah. All right. Well, I think I'm gonna call it a night. I streamed earlier outside, played some ball. Garza ASMR. Oh God. Oh dear Jesus. Nobody's signing up for that. I mean, maybe I can. So I was thinking about doing a channel membership because I do have the ability to create memberships for the channel, and I considered, foolishly enough, I thought about it. I realized I could do like the whole baby oil on my body, that sort of shit, those sorts of videos. And it could be like I'm like in, I go out in the nature or something like that. I got my camera phone on me and I start putting baby oil on myself, like in the woods. And I start running around. That could be a part of the channel membership experience where people get to see me glistening with baby oil on my body and kind of run around. That'd be real comedy. Now that would actually be fun to do. Like the membership version of my channel would basically be a very Tom Green-esque style of comedy, very shock comedy, disgusting comedy. That'd be fun. I could see myself doing channel memberships in that way. Fuck, that would be cool. That'd be awesome. What else am I thinking about here? Do you guys think I should do a sleeping stream, by the way? How would you guys feel about me doing a stream where I fall asleep in front of you guys and you guys get to watch me sleep? I'm trying to figure out how that would work. A lot of creeps would watch me sleep. Who knows, though? I'd probably get super chats up the ass. Maybe people would give me a ton of super chats. I would be probably just in my underwear. Straight up. Just like a live stream. I've seen people do it. Like 8 hours of just them sleeping. And then it's live. It'd be very interesting. I don't know how that would work. That would be fun, though. I should try I might even try it tonight. Is it a good idea? I don't know. What I could do, though, because I don't want to use my main phone to do that shit. I would probably end up using my Pixel 5. Because, I have my Pixel 5 right here. And this thing is a pretty baller phone, by the way. I love the Pixel 5. One of the best phones of all time. And honestly, it's a great backup phone. So what's really cool about this is they're both unlocked phones that I have. So if I ever really wanted to, I can switch back to the Pixel 5. But yeah, I pretty much just use this as my backup phone. And when I do upgrade again, which I'll eventually upgrade again to another Pixel phone, I've become a Pixel fanboy, even though Google spies on me probably. I don't care. The phones are very affordable and they're very, very reliable. I can say that. Give me one moment though, folks. Hold on. Oh, well. Oh, yeah. Perfecto. Very excited. I only work a half day tomorrow. Very excited about that. Well, does anybody have any last second comments? Anything they want to promote and anything they want to talk about? I definitely love promoting shit. So if anybody wants to promote anything, I will simp for anything promotion wise. I don't even need to get paid. I'm just addicted to promoting shit. I am a hype beast. I get pretty hard for a lot of different products, and my mussy gets wet for a lot of products. I ain't gonna lie. So if there's any mussy products, any products in general you want to promote, I'm all ears. Oh yeah. Might clean up the house here a little bit. My mussy's too messy. All right. Nobody else wants to promote anything? All right. I will catch y'all later. Love you guys. Thank you guys for being simps. Simpscribers, I might add. And the more simps we have, the more simptastic the channel becomes. But anyway, love you guys. I'm out. I got to get some shit done. Also.